I do think it's really important for people to understand where their rights are and what their options are. And that so many people I hear go to their doctor and just give 100% trust and faith in them. And when they say, you need this pill, they take that pill without running any tests, without even understanding what the pill does. And, knowing what you went through, if you could go back in time and speak with that doctor and go back to that first, visit, even at 17, and just have a normal conversation. What do you think you'd say to that doctor who's just like, here, take these pills, take these, you need this, without even truly investigating what's going on?
Yeah, the facts, the whole conventional big pharma system that is now overstepping with its power and trying to buy out the governments of the world and propagandizing and censoring. I wake up every day and I'm like, what world is this? How did we get here? And it's America, more than any other country, is a really interesting case study when you look at that, because we're really the only country that has gone through this, and we are the example. And unfortunately, what it is, it's like capitalism and consumerism, unconscious consumerism, that has gone too far. And through our self-indulgent lifestyle and our freedoms, that we just seek pleasure, we seek instant gratification, and then big business, big money, big pharma, big food, big tech. So now we live in this weird world where our environment is super toxic. We are literally spoon-fed and promoted. And we see it, right? Like you turn on the TV and it's like, here's your Sonic slushie, here's your Humira for your IBD, here's your cheeseburger and pizza, here's your antidepressant. Oh, that drug might make you more susceptible to infection, but go take your booster shot. The pharmaceutical hamster wheel, it's a brilliant business model. But Genius. This is where we as consumers and as the population, the collective, we have to recognize what's going on. We have to see it for what it is and choose different. Because the beautiful thing about capitalism, it works both ways. Like the market's going to go where the consumers go, right? Where the money goes. So if we choose health, right? And we've got 88% of Americans metabolically ill, 70% overweight or obese, 43% diabetic. Autism is like 1 in 54 kids, infertility, PCOS. Like we are truly eating and sitting our way to death, chronic disease and death, to the point that scientists are debating how likely it is that the human species is going to go extinct within 100 years due to our own self-destructive choices. Like, whoa. So then, for me to know what I know now and go back to that doctor, psychiatrists and mental health professionals are like my biggest customers now. I teach psychiatrists a functional root cause approach to mental illness, because mental illness isn't what we've been told. What we've been told is the narrative that sells psychiatric drugs. And it's, there are no biomarkers, there are no testing relevant. And that doesn't even align with scientific literature. But now we live in this backwards world where the only science that is shared through mainstream is what supports the big pharma narrative. Yep. I just had to send actually a hard email to my dad yesterday, who he's just drinking the mainstream Kool-Aid and peer pressuring me to do something I don't want to do. Mm-hmm. And so I have to pump the brakes of like, if you want to talk about science, you have to look at the whole science. And that's where, at the end of the day, science and spirituality, science is the objective pursuit of truth, spirituality is the subjective pursuit of truth, but we have to be seeking truth. And these doctors, we have to speak to them in a way of like, we are trying to seek truth. We are trying to advocate for ourselves. We are trying to naturally heal, not just be reliant on their drugs all the time. But I don't think there's a whole lot of conversations to have with those conventional doctors. Like, they need to wake up. They need to pull their head out of the sand and realize that they've lost themselves in a very myopic, reductionistic model that is not in the greatest service to public health.
Yeah, it's a really sad model, because a lot of doctors say they are the truth and that's it. And anyone that knows there's no such thing as this is the only truth. You always seek truth. You always go further. Science is always an evolution of the truth, right? 100 years ago or so, people laughed at Einstein and understanding of energy and all these things and said, that's great. Now it's the new truth is that he was so correct with understanding everything is energy, and we keep moving, we keep evolving. We keep changing, yet medicine is one of those really stubborn because, like you said, amazing business model. As long as people are sick and you're selling them things that keep them there, but also solve some of the issues too. And that is the best business model you could have. It's constant customers, constant repeat, and adding on to it. I had Dr. Dominik Nischwitz, who's this European biological dentist, on. And he said something, all these things that we're using, all these chemicals, just think about it from the body's perspective. Do you have a deficiency of fluoride? Do you have a deficiency of certain chemicals that dentists give you? So when I look at mental health and I look at things that are impacting so many, I say, do you have a deficiency of Wellbutrin? Do you have a deficiency of, Zoloft and all the, you don't have deficiencies. There's something else at the root cause.